Hi there, I'm Rodger Rose, and welcome to another fantastic Kapow read. As you can see, I'm still in the park. It's amazing just to spend time with yourself, imagining reading, or even reading if you have that opportunity. Now, I've got a present here, and it's from Damien Stenson. Well, thank you, Damien. From Damien Stenson, Emma, Erin, and Liam. Yes, just had a new baby, so what an amazing idea. So thank you for that. Let's open it. I wonder what it might be. Hopefully it's not a Manchester United football or Manchester United scarf. We don't want that. My jolly gosh, it's a book. Now this is a serious book. Wow, this is a really important book. Really, this is I Am Malala. I'm Sir Rodger Rose. This is I Am Malala. Listen now, this, if you're in grade 5 or year 6 in England, this is a spectacular book. Very true, very honest. So we'll read this. Wow, this is obviously written by her, Malala Yousafzai. Malala Yousafzai, I think. I need to practice that more. So this is an amazing person, a true story. Okay, so let's read. I Am Malala. Okay. How one girl stood up for education and changed the world. She's won me over straight away. I like it. And this, okay, so this is a little note at the start. It says, to those children all over the world who have no access to education, to those teachers who bravely continue teaching, and to anyone who has fought for their basic human rights and education. So, like I say, a very interesting, serious book, this one. Okay? Right, many chapters. So, let's go. Right, prologue. Okay, so we'll read a bit of this. When I close my eyes, I can see my bedroom. The bed is unmade, my fluffy blanket in a heap, because I've rushed out for school, late for an exam. My school schedule is open on my desk, to page dated 9th October 2012. My school uniform, my white shalwar and blue kameez, is on a peg on the wall, waiting for me. I can hear the neighbourhood kids playing cricket in the alley behind our home. I can hear the hum of the bazaar not far away, and if I listen very closely, I can hear Safina, my friend next door, tapping on the wall we share so she can tell me a secret. I smell the rice cooking as my mother works in the kitchen. I hear my little brothers fighting over the remote, the TV switching between WWE SmackDown and cartoons. Soon I'll hear my father's deep voice as he calls out my nickname. A guy there just waved. Yanni, he'll say, which is Persian for dear one. How was the school running today? He was asking how things were at the Kushal School for Girls, which he founded and I attended. But I always took the opportunity to answer the question literally. Abba, I joke, the school is walking, not running. This was my way of telling him I thought things could be better. I left that beloved home in Pakistan one morning, planning to dive back under the covers as soon as school let out, and ended up a world away. Some people say it's too dangerous for me to go back there now, that I'll never be able to return, and so from time to time I go there in my mind. But now another family lives in that home, another girl sleeps in that bedroom. While I am thousands of miles away, I don't care much about other things in my room, but I do worry about the school trophies on my bookcase. I even dream about them sometimes. There's a runners-up award for the first speaking contest I ever entered, and more than 45 golden cups and medals for being first in my class in exams, debates and competitions. To someone else, they might seem mere trinkets made of plastic. To someone else, they may simply look like prizes for good grades. But to me, they are reminders of the life I loved and the girl I was before I left home that fateful day. When I open my eyes, I am in my new bedroom. It is in a study, brick house, in a damp and chilly place called Birmingham, England. Here there is water running from every tap, hot or cold as you like. No need to carry cans of gas from the market to heat the water. Here there are large rooms with shiny wooden floors filled with large furniture and a large TV. There is hardly a sound in this calm, leafy suburb. No children laughing and yelling. No women downstairs chopping vegetables and gossiping with my mother. No men smoking cigarettes and debating politics. Sometimes though, even with these thick walls between us, I can hear someone in my family crying for home. But then my father will burst through the front door, his voice booming. "Yanni," he'll say, "how was school today?" Now, there's no play on words. He's not asking about the school he runs and I attend, but there's a note of worry in his voice, as if he fears I won't be there to reply, because it was not so long ago I was nearly killed. Simply because I was speaking out about my right to go to school. A true story this is true. It was the most ordinary of days. I was 15 in grade 9 and had stayed up far too late the night before studying for an exam. I had already heard the rooster crow at dawn, but had fallen back to sleep. I'd heard the morning call to prayer from the mosque, nearly managed to hide under my quilt. And I'd pretended to not hear my father come to wake me up. Then my mother came and gently shook my shoulder. "Wake up, Pisho," she said, calling me kitten in Pashto, the language of the Pashtun people. It's 7:30 and you're late for school. I had an exam on Pakistani studies, so she's obviously in Pakistan. That's where she's from and where she's living. Okay, let's go with it. So I said a quick prayer to God. "If it is your will, may I please come in first," I whispered. "Oh, and thank you for all my success so far." I gulped down a big fried egg and chapati with my tea. My youngest brother Achal was in a especially cheeky mood that morning. He was complaining about all the attention I'd received for speaking out about girls getting the same education as boys, and my father teased him a little at the breakfast table. "When Malala is Prime Minister someday, you can be her secretary," he said. Achal, the little clown in the family, pretended to be cross. "No," he cried, "she will be my secretary." All this banter nearly made me late, and I raced out the door. My half-eaten breakfast still on the table. I ran down the lane just in time to see the school bus crammed with other girls on their way to school. I jumped in that Tuesday morning and never looked back at home. The ride to school was quick, just 5 minutes up the road and along the river. I arrived on time and my exam day passed as it always did. The chaos of Mingoria city surrounded us with honking horns and factory noises while working silently bent over our papers in a hushed concentration. By day's end I was tired but happy. I knew I'd done all well on my test. "Let's stay on for the second trip," said Muniba, my best friend. "That way we can chat a little longer. We always like to stay on for the late pickup." For days I'd had a strange gnawing feeling that something bad was going to happen. One night I found myself wondering about death. What is being dead really like? I wanted to know. I was alone in my room, so I turned towards Mecca and God. "What happens when you die?" I said. "How would it feel?" If I died, I wanted to be able to tell people what it felt like. "Malala, you silly girl," I said to myself then, "you'd be dead and you couldn't tell people what it is like." Before I went to bed, I asked God for one more thing. Can I die a little bit and come back so I can tell people about it? But the next day had dawned bright and sunny, so had the next one and the one after that. And now I knew I'd done well on my exam. Whatever cloud had been hanging over my head had begun to clear away. So Muniba and I did what we always did. We had a gossip. What face cream was she using? Had one of those male teachers gone for a baldness cure? And now that the first exam was over, how difficult would the next one be? When our bus was called, we ran down the steps. As usual, Muniba and the other girls covered their heads and faces before we stepped outside the gate and got into the waiting diner. The white truck that was our Kushal school bus, and as usual our driver was ready with a magic trick to amuse us. That day he made a pebble disappear. No matter how hard we tried, we couldn't figure out his secret. We piled inside, 20 girls and 2 teachers crammed into the 3 rows of benches stretching down the length of the diner. It was hot and sticky and there were no windows, just a yellowed plastic sheet that flapped against the side as we bounced along Mingora's crowded rush hour streets. Hajj Baba Road was a jumble of brightly coloured rickshaws, women in flowing robes, men on scooters honking and zigzagging through the traffic. We passed a shopkeeper butchering chickens, a boy selling ice cream cones, a billboard for Dr. Humayun's hair transplant institute. Muniba and I were deep in conversation. I had many friends, but she was the friend of my heart, the one whom I shared everything. That day when we were talking about who would get the highest mark this term, one of the other girls started a song and the rest of us joined in. Just after we passed a little giant snack factory and the bend in the road was no more than 3 minutes from my house. The van slowed to a halt. It was oddly quiet for outside. "It's so calm today," I said to Muniba. "Where are all the people?" I don't remember anything after that. But here's the story that's been told to me. 2 young men in white robes stepped in front of our truck. "Is this the Kushal school bus?" one of them asked. The driver laughed. The name of the school was painted in the black letters on the side. The other men jumped on the tailboard and leaned in the back, where we were all sitting. "Who is Malala?" he asked. No one said a word, but a few girls looked in my direction. He raised his arm and pointed at me. Some of the girls screamed. I squeezed Muniba's hand. "Who is Malala?" "I am Malala, and this is my story." So this is an amazing book, okay? Malala Yousafzai was a 10-year-old when the Taliban took control of her region. Raised in a once peaceful area of Pakistan transformed by terrorism, Malala was taught to stand up for what she believes. So in a time when girls were forbidden from going to school, she fought for her right to be educated. On 9th of October 2012, she was shot point blank while riding the bus on her way from home. No one expected her to survive. Now Malala is an international symbol of peaceful protest. In this young reader's edition of her best-selling memoir, which includes exclusive material and photos and has been updated with a new epilogue, we hear firsthand the remarkable story of a girl who refused to be silenced. Malala's powerful story will make you believe that one child, one teacher, one book and one pen can change the world. So an amazing, sensational, honest, real book, and she is a very inspirational young girl. So go out, please read this. An intelligent girl, very and brave. I'm inspired by brave children or adults. So thank you for watching and listening. It's an amazing book by Malala, I'll say her name, Yousafzai. There you go. Go out and read it. So thank you for listening. So remember, keep on reading and keep on dreaming.